On the back straightaway into turn number 3. Thick thin. Still 3 wide. Brandon Feeney high, wide, and handsome. He's going to go to the outside and get past Camillo.
I don't mean to be two birds and bees with you folks, but this is how cautions are born.
Welcome to another episode of the Feeney Call. This week's guest is the one and only Jennifer Hatch. We were going to have her son Zach join us, but he wasn't able to make it tonight. We're going to talk to her about some of your fan questions, and we're going to talk to her about the iconic Big Booty Judy, and we're going to get to know her and what her plans for 2024 are. We're going to go over a little recap. Some of you that have been following me on Facebook or social medias and stuff like that have realized that with retiring from racing, I'm kind of going back to my roots and I'm bowling in tournaments and stuff like that. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a boring update of what happened this weekend. Bowled in the Players Tour and missed the cut by, I think, 17 pins. Had a really good game that I threw the front 8 or 9 strikes. Unfortunately, didn't capitalize on it to get that perfect game in the tournament. And then Sunday, I throw the front 11 in league and only get a 299 out of 300. So a little bit of a sting pain there, but I think I'd rather get a flat tire going into quarter 3 than while leading the race than getting a 299 again. I can tell you that. But yeah, so that was my short update of what I've been doing. We have a great lineup of guests coming up the remainder of the month, all the way through February, with some, I want to say, never seen on podcast guests coming up. We have a couple local Speedway legends, and I feel like the stories that they're going to tell are going to be epic. And as we get closer and confirm that they actually can come on and stuff like that, I'm going to try to release more. So you're going to want to keep an eye out for those fan question period posts so you can A, see who's coming on that week, and B, maybe ask a driver that you didn't know was coming on and ask them a question that maybe you really want an answer to. But I can tell you I'm grateful for all the people that are coming on the podcast and keeping me rolling here on the podcast side. And without further ado, let's bring on Jennifer Hatch and talk to her about 2024 and the one and the only Big Booty Judy. Welcoming this week to the Feeney Call podcast, we have the one and only Miss Jennifer Hatch. It's great having you on here. I'm going to give you a few moments here to introduce yourself.
Perfect. Thanks for having me. It's always fun to talk to you and hang out with you at the racetrack. So I was happy when you called and asked if I wanted to do this. I'll spend some time with you tonight here on a Tuesday.
Yeah, it's going to come out on Friday, but so we're giving out the secret. I record on Tuesdays if I can, because I play a lot of iRacing. So Monday I have iRacing and Thursday I have iRacing. So I try to keep the recording and uploading and editing all to Tuesday, Wednesday.
Perfect.
So you sent me a bunch of pictures here so I could do the fan question period. There's a lot of cars I didn't know you had driven. What all cars have you gone through in your career to this point?
Yeah, I don't think there's a lot that I haven't driven. So I had a Challenger, a super stock, Canadian Vintage modified. Obviously tried the Legends out. Just recently with the Big Booty Judy and the 4 cylinders the last couple years. Yeah, I raced a lot of different cars. I don't know. I've had like 30 different cars probably.
I seen a drag car on there too as well.
Yeah, so that's my dad's drag car. He's 78 years old, still drag racing. And he let me have a shot at it at St. Thomas Speedway or St. Thomas drag strip or whatever. And I don't know, on my like 7th or 8th pass, I had this amazing reaction time, which I don't even know what it was. It was like 0.004 or something. I don't know much about drag racing. I came back in and all of his friends were like tapping the back of his car. And I was like, I don't know, that must have been good or whatever, right? I get back to the pits. He's like, yeah, you're out. And I'm like, why? He's like, you're making me look bad.
You've made a few of us look bad.
One and only weekend of drag racing.
So what other, obviously you do oval track mainly. What other kinds of motorsports maybe intrigue you for in the future, or like have you thought about doing in the past? Because I try to focus on a lot of motorsports, not just racing and stuff like that. So like, is there like other things that you've looked into, like maybe to see if you could get into like a rally, or do you like do some of the what's it called? Not the rally cross, but like the time attack and stuff like that, or
yeah, no, honestly, I have an opportunity there sitting there. If I want to take that Maverick and make her mine and run as a drag racer, my dad would be more than willing to let that happen. We talked about it just the other day when we were talking about maybe going down to Speed Week together or whatever. I don't know. I you know, when you've done that, I've been at the circle track since I was 6 months old. My dad raced, obviously, so at Flamborough at 6 months old. So when you've done it your whole life, and I've raced since 1993, so that's a long time to do something. But I mean, at some point, it might be a great opportunity to go over to drag racing. It's a little bit, honestly, like it's a if my dad watches this, I'm going to get killed. But it's a little bit easier, right? Because you know, there's not the contact or whatever. You got to keep your car maintained and keep it running really good and whatever, but there's not as much work related with that drag car and a little bit more downtime throughout the day and stuff. So, you know, as you get as old as I am, it might be a great idea at some point over the next few years. But I got Zach racing now too. So now we're sucked back in to another 30 years of oval, right?
yeah, you're fully committed now because you guys have a pretty big team that shows up to the track. I think there's basically 4 or 5 of you that are almost all racing together.
Yeah.
And you got the legend car, one of the legend cars tore apart behind you. You guys, I think, focus mostly on the Great Lakes Legend Series.
Yeah. So the off season's been a little bit interesting for us. So this is mine and Zach's new shop. So this will be the new home of Hatch Racing. And I'm not exactly sure what Kenny's plans are this year, but I wish him the best wherever he decides to go and whatever he decides to do. So we're kind of on our own entity now, which will bring a whole new set of challenges, obviously, but we've got a great bunch of people behind us and a lot of support, and I have picked up a couple new sponsors, and so yeah, I think it'll be a really great 2024 season. Actually, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, 2024, basically new beginnings, and you guys get a focus on. You have Big Booty Judy behind you.
Yeah.
What's the legend's name?
Actually, that's one that Zach's building for somebody else, so that's not even one of ours.
Oh well, that's no fun. So, what's your guys' legend's name? Because you guys name pretty much everything.
So yeah, so Big Booty Judy, and then Zach's was Becky. But she got sold, so she's off to a new home, and I won't say who's bought her or where they're going to be or whatever. So yeah, so we're on to a different adventure with Zach this year, and we'll see what happens with that. So not quite ready to.
Not quite ready to spill the beans yet?
Not quite ready to spill the beans on where Zach's going or what he's doing, but Zach will do good whatever he does. He's got a fantastic work ethic and fantastic just he's so smart and so nice. Like you'll never meet a nicer kid for sure. And that's gonna get him places, I think. But
and very polite as well. Like
he's very polite, yeah.
A lot of, I don't want to say it the wrong way, but a lot of kids seem to have a little bit more of at the racetrack, seem to have a more of a cocky, arrogant attitude, like me. I'm
Yeah.
no different. Um, but
Not Zach.
sometimes it's nice to have a kid that's willing to come up and be like, hey, he'll sit there and he'll talk to you, he'll ask questions. If he doesn't know something, he's willing to say that he doesn't know, like he's trying to learn, and
That's right.
it's very refreshing. Um,
Yeah.
so we talked a little bit
And
before.
even on track, right? Like on track, he's respectable. Like he's respectful of his competitors, and first one to run over and see if he can help somebody. And he's he's helped a lot of other kids along the way, and a lot of other racers along the way. And I think that's why some of these opportunities are coming available to Zach, and I love it for him. I'm on my way out. I don't care if I ever win another race in my life. Is it fun? Sure. But at my age, I'm just there just to be there. I'm just there to have fun. I'm just there to, I'm not getting in that car every time thinking that I got to get to the front. I'm just there to have fun and hopefully take it home in one piece, which doesn't always happen. But, it's for me, it's more fun. I'm hoping, Zach's a competitive hockey player. He's played in the AHL, the CCHL. Like he's a competitive hockey player, won the Cherry Cup last year. I'm hoping he gets that competitive drive for racing that he has in hockey. So yeah, I 2024 is going to be fun. We have a lot of plans already with a lot of people, and we're gonna slay it for sure.
So we were talking a little bit off camera as well, and you were saying how your 2024, you're scaling your personal plans back, and you kind of wanted to create awareness for some other drivers and stuff like that. Why don't you go through here and explain what we were talking about off camera here?
Oh, well, just kind of like our conversation, I run into people that I haven't seen maybe since the summer or whatever, and they're like, walk past me at the grocery store or whatever, and they're like, oh my God, I didn't even recognize you. And I'm like, oh, like I'll say hi to them and they'll be like, oh, like I know the voice, but I didn't recognize you. And so I have type 2 diabetes, and so it was brought on by my eating habits, etc. And I've dropped 64 pounds and feel good. Like it's something that I didn't see coming. I never thought it would happen to me or whatever, but you got to take that kind of stuff seriously. And so if anybody's getting told they're pre-diabetic, which I had been told and didn't heed much warning. And so, start taking that stuff seriously, start watching what you eat and drop the sugar and do some exercise. And it doesn't have to be a lot of anything. It's just those little changes that you stick to, and it's dedication, and it's willpower. Like sure, I'd love to rip into a good chocolate bar here and there, but I can't, so I don't. So so that's something that has become something that's fairly important to me, is making sure I'm eating healthier and doing a lot more exercise. And my goal for spring is to be pretty ripped, and I'm getting there.
So if you get pretty ripped, does Big Booty Judy there get a 6-pack?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we were talking in the shop the other night, and I was like, we got to find a little bit of weight to get out of Big Booty Judy. And my Uncle Russ is like, she already lost 60 pounds because you're getting in it and you've already lost 60 pounds. And I was like, that's a good point. So she's going to weigh a little bit less regardless, but yeah, and Big Booty Judy's going to stay exactly as she is, pretty much. And I'm just going to race her at Delaware and put her away for the weekend and head out with the Great Lakes Legends Series. And I've picked up like a bit of more of a role there, helping run the series.
So I have to ask, do you still have your pink Mohawk helmet? Like, do you still race with that pink Mohawk helmet?
I still have it.
Because that was the biggest way I knew when you were passing me. Because the Mohawk's flapping in the wind of the legend car, and it's like, Jen is kicking my butt today. And I'm like, and I know it's worse because it's like, I don't want to say it's worse because I know it's you, but it's just like
ponytail. It's a big ponytail that goes out the back of the window. Yeah, back window of the legend car. It flies right out the back window as you're going down the front stretch.
And the worst part is like, I don't want to say I have ADHD, but I get very focused on things. I'm watching the thing go around in the corners. You're going in the corners, whipping out the right side. I'm like,
that was part of my plan. That was part of my plan. Distraction.
It worked. If you would have put shiny rims in a ponytail, I was screwed.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. No,
So-
yeah, I still have that. Actually, there's a video somewhere. I think Tracy Ellis has a video, but the guys at work, I'm at the dealership that I do work at. I still do real estate, but I'm working at a dealership as well. And my technicians made me a bubble wrap helmet and would put ties, like a chin strap on it, my number, like everything. And I actually wore it through tech at Delaware.
It's great when people have a good sense of humor and stuff like that too. And
Yeah.
so, do you like to seem like you like to keep super busy? I'm the same way. Try to work as much as possible. And
Yeah.
like you said, you're trying to stay a little bit more active now. And being active, I find, keeps you out of trouble once in a while, which is sometimes a good thing. Sometimes. So
We have a lot of fun, that's for sure.
you're racing the why can I not say bone stock right now? The bone stock at Delaware, you're taking a, let's say, administrative role with the Great Lakes Series.
Yeah, I think more gonna help with the race director, etc. That kind of sort of thing. I did kind of do it last year and got into announcing even and really even the year before that. So Blake Outhouse is gonna run that series and he said, I need your help. And I said, of course I'm there. If you need me, I'm there.
So my question was where I was going to go with this was what other plans do you have for 2024? I did see Pops Campbell was asking when you're going to up to Sawville Beach, and I did see that you were invited for a bonfire afterwards. So
Oh, I didn't see that. I love that. I love that whole group. I mean, there's so much fun to hang out with. I can't wait. I just can't wait for summer. Like, I'm not enjoying this cold snap. I just came back from Costa Rica. I was down at Frank Wall's, Frank and Annika's house in Costa Rica before Christmas, down there for a week, and came back. And now we've got this cold snap and this snow. And I wish I was back in Costa Rica.
did Frank finally catch his shark?
I can actually, so my girlfriend Jill and him went out one day and they caught 100 pounds of fish and she was tuckered, I'll tell you, because she said that was the hardest thing she'd ever done was catching those great big fish. Yellowfin tuna, I don't know, yellowfin tuna and something else. Anyways, they had a great time. So I don't know. I was only there for a week, unfortunately, but yeah. So that was a blast. So yeah, so I love Sawville. It's probably I think it's probably my favorite track to run at. Not last summer because I didn't go up too often, but the summer before I picked up a couple of wins up there and in Big Booty Judy. And I know they've changed the format and stuff, so we'll have to look into that and see what's going on with that. But I will always make it to Sawville at least once or twice because there's just summer's not a summer if you don't race something at Sawville Speedway.
Yeah, I think Pops are gonna have to make like a tent space or something for me so I can go up to Sawville because I think it's something like a 6-hour hike for me by the time I get up there, and and because I'm not racing this year, so I don't have to worry about taking the car trailer and everything with me. I can just go up in the car and maybe take some hours off. So maybe I'll see if I can crash the.
If we're up there, you always have a place to stay. We're gonna have our trailer up there and stuff, so you'll always have a place to stay.
That's awesome because I seem to find myself into late night conversations, even at Autumn Colors. I don't stay at Autumn Colors, and a lot of people don't realize that. But I'll be like there to like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just basically raiding campfires, having a good time, and
yeah, this past Autumn Colors, we definitely watched the sun come up a couple of mornings.
There was a few times I definitely just slept in the truck because it was easier than going home.
That's right. Probably a better idea.
It was definitely better than driving home.
Yes.
So I'm going to get into our fan questions that were submitted here.
Yeah.
Before we run too much on time here. So the first one here that I'm going to ask is Nicole Givens asks, you've raced so many classes. Which class was your favorite?
Which class was my favorite? I had to get Humpty Dumpty back together again after a couple of situations in my Canadian Vintage Modified, but they hold a special place to me. My dad ran a hobby car back in the days. Baby Blue number 31, John Jarvis. He ran the hobby cars, and then I ran the vintage mod for 4 years. And I'd have to say the vintage modifieds. Not like the legend car is obviously amazing and fun to drive. Big Booty Judy holds her own. Reasons why she's so cool. She's a couch to drive. She's the most comfortable car to be in. And at Delaware we get 54 cars. Like you know, it's just a lot of fun. But I would have to say the vintage modified is probably my favorite car.
The vintage mods hold that special place in your heart, and if someone says come drive one, you're flooring it.
I would be there in a heartbeat. That's right.
So the other question I have here, because I already asked you about the Pops Campbell there.
Yeah.
Is from Tracy Ellis. With all the changes happening in the off season, and she wants to know how your 2024 season is looking.
Yeah, so me and Zach sat down the other night and went through both of our schedules and picked what we want to do. And I think it's going to be fairly full, but at the same time, there's like, I have a motorcycle too. And I wanted to maybe get riding a bit more this summer. And so, I think there's a couple of times, but we have 2 weekends back to back off and stuff like that. So, I'm hoping to get some good motorcycle trips in this summer.
Yeah, you might even accidentally show up at the racetrack while you're on the motorcycle, right?
Honestly, I probably would. I just hopefully maybe down in the US and check out some different spots.
And that's the one thing is if you're on the motorcycle, you can get through traffic pretty quickly, and as long as you remain safe, because I don't want to say it's being on a motorcycle is dangerous. It just there's a lot of idiots that don't look out for motorcycles.
Yeah, I think I don't go far by myself per se. I like to go, 2, 3, 4, 5 bikes, and I've got a little bit of a group that I can ride with, and including my uncle and stuff, and I've got some friends in London that have bikes, and so we've all kind of had a meeting here in the shop and picked out a couple places we'd like to head down to on the bikes, and that'll be fun.
So do you have like a sports bike, or do you have like a Harley? What kind of bike do you have?
It's considered a sport touring bike. Well, not sport touring, but it's a Boulevard. It's all blacked out. It's really nice. So yeah, I think it's I would consider it like a sport touring bike.
Yeah, because where I was going to go with this, have you ever like considered doing like track days on motorcycles and stuff like that?
No, one time I went and did the Can-Am Test Your Ride Day with my buddy, and we went down to Cayuga, because out behind Cayuga they had like the little road course there or whatever, and we were doing it for the day. And after the day was done, they came and offered me a job. So he said I tried to lose you so many times and I couldn't shake it. He goes, would you like to travel with us and be one of our instructors? And at the time, my kids were pretty small, so I had to decline that. But I wish I could get that opportunity now with my kids all grown. I'd be gone. That'd be fun.
Yeah, just get paid to ride motorcycles all day.
Yeah, I get paid to ride
no.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be fun.
Yeah, the only reason I asked that is because my sponsor from Liquid Moly, Franz, used to race motorcycles, and now he still has his own personal one. He tracks every day. I think he is crazy because he lost his boot at Shannonville off the wall. And he goes, it's just another day. Like, we do dumb stuff with a roll cage, but like, yeah.
You can't on a motorcycle, that's for sure.
And that's the thing is,
I've been down a couple times on not on this bike, but my last bike. I was down a couple times on my bike and obviously didn't get too hurt, but it's scary when you do go down.
And this is my problem is like, I already know what I do with a roll cage in a car. I do not want to push myself to try to see how fast a bike goes or stuff like that. So responsibly, I don't ride motorcycles just because I know I'd be that idiot doing wheelies down the 401.
You're not the only one that has said that they just know that they get themselves in trouble or get themselves killed. And quite honestly, you have to respect the motorcycle. You have to respect that nobody else respects the motorcycle, number one.
And I give all the kudos to like people like you and like Dan Price and stuff like that. I've seen Dan Price ride his bike in a blizzard.
Yes, I've rode at -4 before.
Yeah. So I think I'll see if I can get Dan to send you the video if you know Dan Price. He literally has a video of him going like down the road and like probably like 6 inches of snow on his Yamaha that he has with
Yeah.
the almost legend car engine in it. But yeah, it's Dan Price. So
It is. Cowboy.
yeah. So I'm gonna give you a few minutes here so you can thank your sponsors for 2023 and your upcoming sponsors for 2024, and go through where people can find you on social medias and any merchandise or etc. they can buy off you.
Okay. So, well, first and foremost, I'll give a shout out to McNichol Welding and Fabrication. Obviously, without Kenny, I never would have got back into racing. I never would have had Big Booty. I never would have had my legend car. I never would have had my super stock that he built for me, and we sold and went out west. One of the nicest cars I've ever seen. So obviously played a huge part in where we are today. And again, so obviously McNichol Welding and Fabrication, Jay Wilds at Wilds Printing, Big Booty's Judy's wrap is amazing. We won Best in Car Show at Motorama last year. Always does a killer job, and I send people to him almost daily for anything that they're looking for online. So I'm always constantly tagging poor Jay and everything. So St. Mary's Ford obviously came on as a sponsor. They'll be back again this year. Auto Fusion Towing, Noel, give him a shout if you ever need a tow truck in and around the London area. He's always amazing to work with. And I've got, oh geez, I have to look at Big Brother. And of course, Robson Scrap Metal, because Kent's always on the lookout for stuff for us and getting parts and stuff for us. So Pedal Power are on there, stickers and scuffs is on there. And also CS8, which is one of Zach's friends who passed away while he was a Stratford Warrior playing with Zach. So we keep his sticker on there as well. So and Jennifer Hatch Maverick, because somebody has to pay the bills.
Somebody's always got to pay the bills.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and a couple new sponsors actually coming on board, but we haven't really tied everything up with that, so I won't even go there yet. But one fairly substantial one that should keep us going for the season, and then a couple of other little ones. So yeah, it'll be enough to get us through. So that'll be good.
So once you,
sorry. So I don't even know. I think it's Jennifer. It's just Jennifer Hatch on Facebook, or there's Realtor Jennifer Hatch on Facebook as well, which is my real estate page. And I think it's like Jenny Hatch 17 on TikTok or something like that. I don't know. And Jenny Hatch on Snapchat. And I think I have Instagram too, but I think it just loads from Facebook. So I don't even know. I'm 50, almost 52. I don't know. Social media is not awesome for me.
I am 34 and I'm not great with social media. You know, the amount of times I had to message Cam or Jomo and stuff like that for like, hey guys, like, how do I do this with the podcast, or how do I do this? And they're trying to explain it to me. I swear it's like they're talking to a toddler, because they have to treat me like I'm completely stupid and I know nothing. And like, so I'm getting better at doing like the social media, the sharing and stuff like that, because for the longest time, like, I've always been kind of to myself and shyer, and what they kind of got me kind of opening up, and where we're doing this now and stuff like that. And now I'm helping announce.
Sorry.
Yes,
I do have to mention before I forget. So we do have Big Booty Judy merch, obviously, and Haley made all that up for us at MPH Design. So they can reach out to Haley on social media as well. She did a great job of Kenny's shirts and my shirts and Zach's shirts. She's done so many people's shirts. So if anybody needs shirts, they can reach out to her. And I still have some available, so I'm gonna have to do a whole new batch for next year. I don't even know. We sold a ton of Big Booty Judy t-shirts and tank tops and sweatshirts, and so I still have some stuff available if anybody wants some big booty bling.
Well, I'm gonna need a shirt.
Absolutely. First time I see you, I'll bring you a shirt.
So also send me like the link with your shirts and stuff like that, and I'll make a post to share everything and stuff like that, try to help you out. And then once you get the new batch lined up, we'll make sure you sell out real quick.
Yeah, I think she will actually. She's got a following all of her own. They don't even know who Jennifer Hatch is, but everybody knows who Big Booty Judy is.
Hey, that's all that matters. As race
Yeah.
car drivers, half the time we like to be shy and we don't like. How many times do you go somewhere and somebody recognizes you from the racetrack and it's like, who is this person? I have no idea who it is, but you have to be like friendly and polite, especially like
I don't know. Have
because
you met? Shy is not anywhere in my vocabulary.
okay, it's in my vocabulary, but like, well, you know what I mean. Like you'll go there and like you'll start talking and you'll walk away like, I don't know who that was.
Yeah.
But
It
but
does happen to me sometimes, like, because they'll be like, oh, I remember you when you were this tall. And it'll be like somebody that knew my parents or something, right? And I'll be like, I have no idea. But then they'll explain it and then there'll be a story that triggers who they are or whatever. But you're totally right.
yeah,
But everybody knows everybody's cars
right.
or their haulers.
So I was in Scarborough with Cam. We were meeting for lunch, and I was dropping off some merch for the food drive he's doing.
Yeah.
And someone there is like, "I know you. I've known you forever." I'm like, "No, you don't." I'm like,
Yeah.
"These are not the people you were looking for." And Cam's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "I have no idea." But
Yeah,
like,
that has happened for sure.
so secrets out for me anyway. So halftime I'll be polite and I'll talk to people. But halftime I have no idea who they are unless they're at the racetrack with their car. Or
Yeah.
like with the team, and it's that's just who I am. It's like bad memory. I've smashed my head way too many times, and
Yeah.
maybe this year sitting out of the car for once and doing announcing and media and all these new things I got to learn this year. Maybe I'll get some more memory. And
Well, it should be easier on your bank account, that's for sure.
you say that like I haven't been bowling up a storm like and bowling in like tournaments every like
Yeah,
five.
that's good. I've been watching. Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Love it.
So just to give you like a cost of bowling, I think I've spent more on bowling this season than I did racing last season.
Oh
So
my gosh.
last year I spent $3,000 between the two cars, basically just tires and fuel, and then like whatever the paychecks I got back went into it too. But I don't really know how much I invested of that because it just fluid,
Gone.
right?
Yeah.
So bowling this year alone, I've bought 6 bowling balls at $300 a ball,
Yeah.
and like the tournaments are $100 entry plus like I bought 2 pairs of shoes at like a couple $100 a pair,
Yeah.
3 bowling ball bags at like $190 just for me to.
Let's face it, every sport is expensive. We used to curl. Like every sport, there's an investment, right?
And the worst thing is I'm bad at all of them.
Well, we no longer curl.
So the joke is like, so I was bowling Saturday. I bowled in a tournament. I missed like the money cut by like 17 pins,
Okay.
and then Sunday I'm bowling in my league and I throw a 299.
Which is a dang good game.
Yeah, but it hurts because one pin was left standing.
In the
So I literally would missed by a perfect game by one, but enough about bowling. This isn't a bowling podcast, at least not yet. Well, never know. If somebody says they want to talk bowling for a little bit, yeah, we might throw a special episode in there.
That's right.
But I'm going to thank you for joining me. I can't wait to see you and Big Booty Judy back on track this year. I'm definitely going to have to run down to Delaware more this season. I was down there once last year.
Yep.
I definitely like the track. Definitely like seeing the racers. Definitely like seeing one of my old cars or a couple of my old cars out there. I still have a soft spot for Vengeance, which is Jordan Morris's car. That was my
Yes.
first. That was my first late model, and like
Oh wow, that's cool.
seeing her do well and like Jordan do well with her, it's like I'm proud of the car. Like it's almost like a proud dad moment. It's like I'm proud, like she's still going. It's like
Yeah.
it's the whole reason why I'm selling the mod off and stuff too. Because like if I'm not racing, I don't want to see her just sit in the trailer and not get raced. She belongs on the track. Like
Right.
so, you
Yeah.
know, it's like.
Yep. Oh yeah, I got lots of old cars still out there.
I went to a bone stock race and I counted like 6 of my cars. I'm like, I have a problem.
Yeah.
So I need a bigger shop where I can keep them all and just like have trophy collections.
That's
But
right.
but anyway, once again, I thank you for joining me and spending your valuable time and having Big Booty Judy and Frosty in the background. And once again,
Great.
I can't wait to see you.
Yeah, me too. Miss you. Have a great winter. We'll see you in the spring.
Yeah, well, definitely. Even if I'm down your way, I'll let you know, and then maybe we'll meet up and we'll throw some wrenches around on Big Booty Judy there and see if we can
Sounds
find
good.
a pound and a half of weight in there.
We got the fires are roaring. So
Perfect. And it's in a shop, and I don't have one, so I got nothing better to do.
That's right. Great.